Hi, this is Jaden, and I wanted to do part two of my video game collection I got here. The last part I did both Nintendo and all my Sega stuff. And now I kind of wanted to go through and show off my PC games that I have. The big box ones, the jewel cases, and I also wanted to throw something else in there at the end that I thought was kind of interesting. So yeah, anyway, let's get this going. All right, here we go. We're all set up here. So the thing with my PC games, I have a decent bit of different ones. The thing is, not all of them are on my shelves here, because I got a lot of them. Like I got a giant box full of older ones, um, last summer, and I haven't like gotten a chance to really sit down and clean them all because I didn't really have anywhere to put them, so I didn't really see the point in doing it right now. So those won't be included, but maybe at another point I will show those off. But for now, I'm just going to show off the ones I have set up on my shelves and all that. So yeah, here, before I move on to the actual box ones, I forgot, I do have three that are up here that I don't really have with the other ones, but I figured we'll just go through them anyway. So first up, we got Amnesia. Dark Descent for PC. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this does have the thing. It's just kind of a DVD copy of Amnesia: The Dark Descent that I just randomly found. I love Amnesia. It's definitely one of my favorite horror games, up there with like Outlast and RE7 and all that. It's not one I go back to a lot, but it kind of like pioneered a lot of the like horror, especially in like something like YouTube, where you had people like PewDiePie, Markiplier, all them like playing it, and it kind of just brings me back to like early 2010, like the different content that was put up there, and it's really fun. It's definitely one that not everyone will like, especially for more modern horror game enthusiasts, but it's a classic in terms of horror. And I kind of have a problem with a lot of this game's sequels. Amnesia: A Machine for God, I can't speak. Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs, the one after this. I actually thought this was all right, even though a lot of people don't really like it. And then the one after that, Amnesia Rebirth, I really didn't care for at all. Like, I really just did not like that game when I played it. I thought it was horrible. I probably have a lot less hate for it than I did before because I can't really hate games, anymore. But it definitely wasn't a good time. But maybe I should go back to it. I don't know. But yeah, Amnesia, Dark Descent. And we got The Sims 2. I don't know. Double Deluxe. I think that this is. Yeah, it's Sims 2 with like two expansions with it. I don't really have much to say about The Sims because I do have some more Sims over here that I'll talk about because I have The Sims 1. But the Sims series has kind of been an interesting game for me that I thought I would check out at some point because it never really seemed like my kind of game. Because I know people love this, and this was kind of like the game that came out in like the early 2000s, the series in general, and it was really popular with parents and a lot of women who really liked the game. My sister plays a lot of Sims 4, and I guess that has kind of got me interested in the series a little bit. More so the older ones, not really the Sims 4, ironically. But yeah, I like that I have a copy of Sims 2 that I can play. I don't know if a lot of these, because I have a disk drive, because I know that they have a lot of small issues, like depending on what kind of PC you're using, um, or they just won't work at all sometimes. So hopefully a couple of these do work, because I haven't played all of them, but the ones I have played, some have issues, some didn't. So you know. And then the final one from the shelf over here that I had was a game called X Rebirth. I'm not gonna be. I have never heard this until I got it. It kind of looks like Homeworld a little bit, but that's about it. That like I really don't know anything about this game, but it feels substantial, and who knows? Maybe if I'm really feeling weird one night, I can pop this in and see what that's about. But yeah, now we move on to the actual meat and potatoes here. I think I'll start off. Yeah, I'll start off with the big box stuff, and then we'll move on to the jewel cases. So first off, we have Age of Empires 2. Age of Empires is definitely a game I've wanted to play for a decent bit. I forget, is this RTS? Or is this... I think it's an RTS game. I might be completely wrong. But I'm pretty sure Microsoft published this game like back in late 90s, early 2000s. And I've seen a lot of either Age of Empires 3 or Age of Empires 4, and it kind of got me interested in wanting to go back to the older games. And I randomly found this at a like antique store and was like, you know what? I'll probably play this at some point. So yeah, that was pretty much the story with this one. Definitely should get around to trying it out. It is Age of Empires 2 though, so I should probably try to get 1 before. But if there's really no connections to the story, then I probably won't worry about it. It says Game of the Year on the cover, so must be good. I also just, same with Sega Genesis stuff, I love the art on these. They're just, I don't know, just really cool. You really don't see stuff like this nowadays. It's sad. Next we got Battlefield 2142. This is a box, but it's not like a cardboard box. This is like a giant like DVD case. So Battlefield series is one that I actually have dabbled in, here and there with like Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 2042, even though Battlefield 2042 had its fucking issues at launch and everyone remembers it. Battlefield 1 is definitely my favorite from what I've played. I really wish the servers were more populated, because whenever I play it, like, it's always a weird thing trying to find a match and like the ping is always super high. But I do have Battlefield 2142 for physical, and I know this is the futuristic one that they had, like after Battlefield 1 and 2, I think. And it's not one that I see talked about a lot, like at all compared to the other ones. I think a lot of people kind of forget about this one. I mean, I don't personally like have much interest in it compared to the other Battlefield ones, because if I'm looking for like a futuristic shooter, there's a lot of other ones I can really go for, like the Call of Duty ones that are futuristic, Titanfall. I don't know why those are the only ones I can think about with futuristic shooting mechanics, but yeah, Battlefield 2142. Probably won't ever try this, but maybe I will. Who knows? Then next up, we got Call of Duty 2. I love this game's art so much. I know not Battlefield. I know World War II games were kind of everywhere in like the early 2000s, but when I think of World War II games, I specifically think of Medal of Honor and Call of Duty in its early years. This is definitely a game that I hopefully want to get to here soon. I have not played it, but because I always was like, I could just get it on Steam, But the Call of Duty games don't like always go on sale, and the old ones are still going up for like $10. Like even these, which are like more than 12 years old, I think, at the time of me making this. But Call of Duty 2 is definitely one I want to check out. This was a launch title for the Xbox 360 when that came out, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people bought this with their 360. That and like Perfect Dark, the new Perfect Dark that came out at the time. But it looks really cool. I'm pretty sure you could play as like 3 different like factions in this, or maybe I'm thinking of Call of Duty 1. But I recently thought about this game again because it got featured in an episode of The Office. And I was going through The Office at the time. I was like, oh, that's Call of Duty 2. So, yeah, a lot of people kind of, like, who know Call of Duty now will say that, like, even if they're older, they'll have started off at, like, with Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and then kind of gone from there. But a lot of people kind of forget about Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah, really good time from what I've seen, at least by gameplay. And I hope to get to it soon here. Call of Duty. Oh god, why can't I put this back? Next up, this is a fun little one. Deer Hunter, Legendary Hunting. I randomly saw this again at an antique store, and it looks like a basic ass generic game where you shoot deer, and the art looks kind of cool, and I was just like, it's the only PC game on the shelf, I need to have it. I think it was like maybe a buck or two. And I was just like, you know what? Why not? Yeah. It's a deer game. If you want to shoot deer, it looks like a deer game. And that's about it. Love that. Love that for anyone who loves to shoot deer. Next, we got Dirt. Also, one of the, well, I would say one of the, I don't really play racing games too much. I've kind of gotten into them a bit in later years, kind of like with fighting games. Um, I've kind of dabbled a bit in, Forza and Need for Speed. Need for Speed Underground 2 was definitely the main one I always wanted to kind of try. That and Burnout 3. But my style of racing game that I always wanted a racing game that was kind of like, it had like a kind of lo-fi vibe to it with like a phone filter and it had just, I don't know, it just let you like vibe, like while listening to music and just driving really, really fast. That was my ideal kind of racing game. Um, but Dirt is definitely one I've heard about over the years. I think my dad kind of has like he plays a version of Dirt. I think it's Dirt Rally, and he said it was fun. So, I mean, Dirt. If I want to play it, I can have. I have it. Here is an interesting title I can talk about that I have played. Fear. First Encounter Assault Recon. Fear. This is a really fun game. This came out in 2005 by Monolith, I believe. Sierra published it, and it's a really fun mix of like a first-person shooter, like action-based, but it has some like horror elements in there that make it like really cool. Like the creepy-ass girl on the front, Alma, she makes that like kind of unique, I would say, because it's not just straight action. Like there are a bit of like moments where it's like, oh shit, this is freaky as fuck, and just creepy-ass vibe. And the enemy AI in this game is really smart, like compared to most other shooters, and that's what a lot of people think about this. Like they will like duck and react to things you do, and they'll like call out and all that. And this game also has bullet time, like Max Payne, where you can like slow down time and just fucking annihilate the shit out of people. Like it's so cool. Like the inside here, it's really fun time. I don't really care that much for this series' sequels, like Fear 2 and 3. Fear 2 really was nothing special, and Fear 3 was sort of fun with the co-op mechanic. Remember playing that with a friend, but I don't remember them as much as Fear 1, and I think this is probably the best in the franchise. Um, I think it's kind of sad too when I think about Fear because I think as of late, like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, the people who originally made this, I think they were like bought out or they were with Warner Brothers at the time, and I guess they got shut down. And that was really sad to see because, Fear. Even though the whole franchise wasn't perfect, I always look at this game fondly whenever I think back to first-person shooters that I've played. So yeah, but I highly recommend people give it a shot because it can definitely be a fun time. Obviously, 2005, the graphics don't really age that well, but it's still a good time. It's still really fun. Alright, and now we got another great game as well, Half-Life 2. This, anyone who knows, PC gaming, they have definitely heard of Half-Life, or more specifically probably the non-existent Half-Life 3 or Episode 3 that we still are waiting for that we won't get because, they literally came out with a documentary that finally, like, brought up, like, what was happening with that game. But yeah, Half-Life 2 is a phenomenal game. Half-Life 1 is great on its own too. I wish I had a copy of Half-Life 1 physical, but it is fucking expensive, especially for the big box ones that like aren't like bigger than even this. It's just a fun kind of sandbox game with like it's got Gordon Freeman, fucking bashing heads with crowbars kind of thing. You're fighting against the Combine. It's got head crabs, Vortigaunts, Alex. It's great. And G-Man, oh my god, G-Man, the man that we still don't know anything about. The mystery. He is one of the mysteries of gaming. Is just who is G-Man. But no, it is really fun. I had a friend of mine who went through Half-Life 1. He didn't play Half-Life 2, but he liked Half-Life 1, surprisingly. Even though that was from 1998, and obviously, that has some things with it. This is from 2004, and this still holds up today. Like, obviously, there are, like, load times in between, like, when you're going through the game, and the game will just stop you and load whatever the area is next. And, some people have problems with it. I really don't. But Half-Life 2 is phenomenal, and I really wish that we could get a new Half-Life game here. I know we've had Alex back in 2020 for VR, but I would love just another traditional controller Half-Life game. But I know they probably wouldn't do something like that unless they had like something to innovate it with. But that ending for Half-Life Alyx that teased like a potential new thing, like, come on, man. I just want to know what happens. Like, seriously. But yeah, Half-Life 2. Gordon Freeman Crowbar Simulator. Next, we have Deus Ex Invisible War. I haven't played the Deus Ex series, and this is the only one that I have a full copy of. Deus Ex, the original at least, goes on sale so many times. You can find that for cheap no matter where you go. I just haven't really sat down and tried giving it a shot. I don't know if I own it, actually. I think I might on like GOG or something, but it's just one I haven't really given much of a shot. And people who know what Deus Ex is, you know, the like whole interesting story behind it with like Ion Storm and like, because the guy, one of the dudes who helped make Doom, John Romero, would go on to form his own company, Ion Storm, and they were working on a game called Daikatana, and it took a while to come out, but it was pretty like horribly received. It was pretty bad. But in Ion Storm, as like a side thing that they were doing, they made Deus Ex, and that was received and sold pretty well from what I remember. So this is Invisible War. I probably wouldn't go through this until I have gone through the first Deus Ex. I forget, I might have seen something that said that this game kind of like simplifies some stuff with Deus Ex. I might be wrong. Or maybe I'm thinking of the newer ones, like Human Divided and all that. But yeah, Invisible War. The cover looks really nice. I really like the blue with it, the blue tint. It looks really, really cool. And yeah. And next up, we got Matrix Online. I love the Matrix. I really like this front cover as well. It looks really cool. From what I've seen with this was an online MMO Matrix game, which honestly, on its own, sounds really fucking cool. And I really wish they did something like that again, like nowadays, because I would so play the shit out of that if I could. But this was released like back in like maybe mid-2000s, I think, and I haven't played it because the servers are definitely dead as fuck, and if they aren't like taken offline, then they're definitely dead. If they're even up, I don't even know. But I think that this had like kind of okay, like kind of middling reviews at the time because of certain aspects of it. And I found this like at a garage sale for literally $1 I remember. And I was just like, that's fucking cool. Just Matrix Online, because I don't know if I ever heard about this before I found it. But it feels like everything's inside of it, and it comes with a... And actually, I never saw this originally till just now. It comes with a 30-day subscription included. So that's really cool. And yeah, it's just a really cool, neat little thing to have. And yeah, even though I don't really get much value out of it because I can't play it, but for $1, it's just like, why not? We got Need for Speed Pro Street. This isn't one of the Need for Speed games I played. I've only really tried Unbound, and it was only for like a very little bit of time. So maybe one I have to try out here, but that's about all I can really say about this one. So yeah, yep. Next we got SimCity 4. Again, I haven't really played Sims or SimCity. I always wanted to go back and play the Super Nintendo one, the Super Nintendo port of SimCity, because it looked really fun, and I think there was like some things that, like certain Nintendo things they added, like Bowser as like a monster or something in there, like a Mario trophy. That just made it look really fun. And to be honest, between Sims and SimCity, even though I know they're kind of different, I'd probably try SimCity. From the bit I've seen of it, this feels like really substantial. I don't know if... Oh yeah, it's got like the whole case and manual and everything. And, oh shit, I'm dropping everything. But yeah, I'd probably try SimCity for sure. But you know, SimCity's 4, it's there for when I want to go through it. EA. Yeah. Next we got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. I have played a little bit of the original Splinter Cell. It's definitely one I want to try to finish because I really love stealth games, love Metal Gear. Played a bit of Dishonored. Wasn't really for me. I have the Thief games on Steam that I want to try playing. I just love stealthing games because it's just I don't know. It's really satisfying just sneaking up behind people and just taking them out and all that. And Chaos Theory, from what I remember from like the original three that came out for like this generation, Chaos Theory was definitely the best from what I heard, and I like that I have it. I have an Xbox copy of the original Splinter Cell that I need to play on my original Xbox, but I need a new original Xbox controller, like OG Xbox One, because mine has like some stick issues. So yeah, but Chaos Theory. All right, and I'll kind of bunch these up together. This is what I was talking about. The Sims. We got The Sims and The Sims Superstar expansion pack. This was a really cool find, actually. I was really hyped when I found this because I don't really see too many PC games in the wild. So when I do see them and they're cheap, it's like really surprising. It makes me really happy. It's got cool art as well. It kind of reminds me of the GTA like panels, the way it has like kind of the 3x3 with all the people in it. But yeah, so my whole thing was my sister has Sims 4 and she really likes Sims 4. But I always told myself that I kind of wanted to go back and play the original Sims first before I played the newer ones. And they definitely have aged in terms of graphics and probably controls as well. I like the music in the OG Sims games as well, though. They are really nice. Because I don't really think of music when I think of Sims 4, but I know the music for this game. So yeah, I haven't popped it in to see if it works, but I do have a DVD drive to try it whenever I'm feeling up to it. I hope that this is like early 2000s, if not 2000, I think it came out. So I would be kind of surprised if it worked without any issues, but I like that I have it. And the Superstars expansion, I don't know anything about other than it's a Sims expansion. They had so many expansions for Sims, it was honestly wild. EA definitely was milking a dead cow with a lot of these franchises. Next, we got Oru, Ages Beyond Mist. I had no clue what this was until I realized that this was like one of the sequels to Myst. And I was like, wow, I have never once seen this. Yeah, because it's by Scion, and it's literally made by the same people, I think, at least, because Scion made the first Myst, which is, for people who don't know, Myst is an old 90s, like, kind of point-and-click puzzle game that was, like, really popular. And it was, like, one of the best-selling PC games for a while there. And I saw this. I found this, actually, at the same place that I found Age of Empires 2. And I just had no clue it was. And it literally said Myst on the cover until, even though it said Myst, I had no clue what it was. Because I'd heard of Myst, but I was just like, wait, why is it called Oru then? It looks kind of different to the traditional Myst games, but, yeah. I don't really know if I'd check this out because, like, I've tried a bit of Myst. It wasn't really for me. It's definitely one I want to go back to because that's definitely my catchphrase with this. There's always so many games that I want to go back to, but I either just don't have the energy or the time, and I just end up playing other stuff, or they could be kind of a slog to go through. But there are a lot of these games that, like, even though, like, I don't fully enjoy every aspect of them, I want to go through them because I just want to play as many games as I can and get all these different experiences. So even if I don't end up ever playing this, even after going through like Myst and Riven and all that, I just kind of like having it. It's like a little piece of history that I like. So yeah. Next up, here we go. We got Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. Now this, dope art. It feels substantial by Blizzard. I've gotten into a lot more Blizzard stuff as of late. I went through Diablo 1 and then Diablo 2 with a friend. Those were fun, lots of fun, even though they could be hard as shit at times. And Warcraft and StarCraft have been the two series by Blizzard that I wanted to go into also with Diablo. And I played a little bit of StarCraft, but I need to really dive deep into that one. Especially after getting into more RTS games with me and a friend played Halo Infinite, and that was kind of like our introduction to RTS games because it's pretty basic because it was ported to console. But yeah, so Warcraft series was one that I'd wanted to try because I'd heard of World of Warcraft, the MMO, and that's what everyone really knows, especially like people who don't play video games. I always said that like World of Warcraft was like people's Fortnite back then in like 2004 and like late 2000s to early 2010s, before Fortnite came out, because it was just like that big of a level that just everyone knew about it. People played it, people got addicted to playing it, parents knew about it, people in social media knew about it. But you don't hear people talk about just straight Warcraft, like 1, 2, and 3. And 1 and 2 are kind of like a bit dated. I've seen like going back to, because they were kind of like some of the first pioneers of the RTS genre, along with like Dune, the one Dune game, and Command and Conquer. But Warcraft 3, I own Warcraft 1 on GOG, and I haven't really sat down with it. It's just sitting in my backlog. But Warcraft 3 was one that looked really cool. Like, it had like a 3D kind of setup. There's a lot of iconic lines from this game, and I thought the story looked really cool and interesting as well. And this is one of the few PC games that like came with a disc that I put in my disk drive that actually did work. I didn't really have too many issues playing it, other than for a lot of these you have to put in like a specific CD key so that like they know you're not pirating it, and they're all specific to each. So I think for a minute I like couldn't get it to work, but I got it to work. From the bit I played at the intro, it was really fun. I definitely am excited to get back in and go through this game. Because most of the PC games I have in my collection, I haven't beaten. The only ones that I've shown off that I've actually beaten are Fear and Half-Life 2. I have a desire to play all the other ones, just I've only beaten those two. So yeah, Warcraft 3, this is one, along with like Call of Duty 2, that I'm really excited to get into. And yeah. So then, after Warcraft 3, I'm gonna bunch these together. I do actually have box copies of World of Warcraft and the first expansion, Burning Crusade. World of Warcraft, I never fully have gotten into MMO games. I have tried to play MMOs, like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, but I never have stuck with them. I don't think they don't really do the same itch that I think that they do for other people, where it's like as satisfying to go through just complete quests, get stronger, get levels, get a bunch of gear. And I'm surprised too, because it feels like my kind of like thing where I could just sit down with it. But I think the fact that I go through so many different games and want to play so many different ones is kind of the fact why I haven't really been able to stick with any specific MMO, which is kind of sad, because these are like a big part of gaming, even though like, you know, you do have to like really dedicate time to get into these games, like time and money to get into them, where you have to pay for the subscription and the amount of time you play them, and if you keep liking it, you keep continuously paying monthly subscriptions, and you know, they are a huge time sink to like get the stuff you need, and if you really get addicted to it, you will just play without even realizing, and time will just go on by. A friend of mine that like loves a lot of like grindy type games, and he played like Roblox a bunch, and Roblox is kind of like what I think of in terms of like the modern like free to play MMO that like kids play nowadays, and like a lot of people go through, because you could just kind of play that like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. But I feel like would love these types of games, like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, just because of the grindy aspect of it. I like that I have these boxes though. The one expansion that I would want to go through if I really sat down with World of Warcraft would be Wrath of the Lich King, because the cinematic cutscene for it looked really cool. The music looks really dope. And I think that was considered like the best expansion, and like kind of where like after that it kind of like went downhill with like Cataclysm or whatever the one after that one was, and Mist of Pen, whatever that other one was called, Mist of something. But yeah, I really like having these. These are super cool. You know, this is literally like the Fortnite of that age. It's kind of a cringe thing to say, but like really, these games and their popularity at the time, man, you know. Very few games really had that level where like everyone knew about them, no matter if you play games or not. And then the last over here on this side of the shelf is what I think is like it goes with this game that I was talking about earlier, except it's X3 Reunion. They have the same X, so these are definitely in the same franchise. And I don't know what these are. I don't know what these are, but I have them, and that's about it. I don't really know what to say about these. I've never seen these or heard about these anywhere other than when I got them in a bundle. So yeah. All right, and now we got through those. Now, I do have a couple of big box ones, like bigger than these, and I want to show those off. I have 3 here before we move on to jewel cases. So the first one that I have, and I'm really happy I have this, is Diablo 2, the full battle chest that has Diablo 2, the expansion, I forgot what its name is, Lord of Destruction, yeah, and Diablo 1. And this is so cool to own. Like, it is just a fucking chunker of a thing. It does, like, have some wear and tear. Like, it's not fully perfect. But it's just so cool to, like, see the different stuff for it. It just brings me back to, like, playing Diablo 2 with my friend and fighting fucking Diablo and Baal. We fucking struggled so much on both of those. It was wild. I love the Diablo 1 and 2, the ones I played, you know, the butcher, fresh meats, and just the way these games look and play and feel is just really cool. I know Diablo 2 was like one of the like biggest, a lot of people say it's even the best action RPG that there is. And it's good to see, it's pretty easy to see why. I mean, like, the story is so cool with the fucking narrator and like the different demons, and like they kind of tease some of the stuff in Diablo 3 a bit, and the story with like 1 and 2 with Deckard Cain and Stay a While and Listen. It's just the music. I love so many aspects of both Diablo 1 and 2. These don't get me wrong. These games can be fucking hard and bullshit at times, but they are so good. And I know a lot of people think of like Diablo 3 and Diablo 4 in terms of like modern ones, but people should definitely check out the Diablo series. It's really fun. I remember my first introduction to Diablo wasn't actually playing the games. It was when I was younger and Minecraft Dungeons came out in like 2020. And obviously I was big on Minecraft at the time because it was like one of the few games I really like played. And I remember like seeing reviews for it and stuff because I was kind of like easing into like knowing what I know now about games, but like not fully. And I remember seeing people compare it a lot to a game called Diablo, and people saying like, "Oh, it's Diablo, but in Minecraft," and like, "Oh, it's got like Diablo, it's like dungeon crawling type thing," and that was what was going around. And yeah, and I was just like, what is Diablo? And then later on, I would finally figure out like what Diablo was, who Blizzard was, and all the games they make. It's just really cool to have this. I remember buying this and just having it come in being like, oh shit, the battle chest. And this is really cool. If you have not played or heard of the Diablo series, definitely give it a try. You probably can't go wrong with any of the 4 games, like the mainline ones. I know 3 has like kind of has people divided because it's like not as like dark and gritty as these, because these games are pretty dark, which is kind of the appeal of it, and like the demons and like how it is. But 3 kind of like goes in a direction that's more kind of cartoony, and some people like it, some people don't. I didn't really personally like it that much. I like the gritty kind of dark, mature aspects of these games. And then Diablo 4 kind of went back to the mature theme. But it definitely had its problems. You know, people who played the game will tell you that much. But Diablo 4 was definitely one I want to try again because I did play that a bit with a couple of friends, and it was pretty fun from the little bit I've seen of it. But yeah, Diablo 1 and 2 were the ones I mainly have affinity for, and I'm really glad I have something to show for it. Great games, great titles. Next is an interesting one. We have NASCAR Racing 2. This is fucking massive chonker of a box. I don't know anything about this, but I got it in like a bundle of different games when I was looking out at yard sales, and I don't really know anything about it other than it's NASCAR, and I think you race a bunch of cars, and yeah, that's literally it. Even though this is like one of the few big box games I have, I don't know anything about it, which is ironic. But yeah, NASCAR Racing 2, you love to see it, love to see it. I can't put it back in the shelf because, you know what, I'm just going to not do that. And then the final big box PC game I have, which is a really interesting story, Nocturne, from 1999, I believe this came out. This, okay, so this was when I was starting to really collect, like, more stuff. Like, trying to really keep things I had, and especially with PC stuff and, like, seeing how cool the boxes and the cases are. And Nocturne... I think I don't remember how I came across this game. I think I randomly might have seen like a box art of it or heard it by name, and I looked up and I saw the box art for it, and I was like, whoa, this is really fucking cool. Like this looks like my kind of vibe, like the kind of like snowy atmosphere with like the house and the black in the background. It's giving kind of Silent Hill a bit, and it really looked fucking cool, even though I knew nothing about this game or how it played. I might have looked up like one gameplay thing, or maybe I saw the intro cutscene, whatever. But like, it just looked really like creepy and fucking scary as shit. Some supernatural ghost type stuff, and I just wanted it. I wanted it even though I knew nothing about it. And I found like the big box copy of it online for like $60, and I was like, I know nothing about this game, but the box art looks cool as shit. $60, let's go. And I did a bit of research on it. It literally even has like a parental thing, like being like, oh, watch out, because it's got like adult language and some nudity and violence and all that. But from what I do know about this, it came out in 1999, or definitely late 90s, and it was like a powerhouse in terms of like graphics at the time. Like a lot of the reviews here, you'll say they'll be like, these are cutting edge graphics. It's got some of the best looking visuals, like the shadows and the lighting and all that. And like when you open it up, you can see like different things here with like the bits of story and stuff that they show off, and more reviews. It's kind of, oh god, I'm dropping it. So I did try this. So the thing about me talking about the PC games and some of them not always working, this was the game that kind of made me realize that not all old PC games work on modern PCs, because I went through so many different fucking hoops to get this to work. And I tried messing with different stuff in my settings and my PC itself to try to like emulate the old PCs. Nothing worked. And then randomly one day, booting it up, it finally worked. I don't know why. There were still a couple of issues with the controls and stuff. And it definitely had that kind of vibe that I liked. But the thing that made me put it down was the controls. Like the old PC controls, it just wasn't it. I don't know if I could have connected like a USB controller or something to make it work on controller. But I probably not, since it was an older game. But it just wasn't, it didn't control well at all. But I have constantly thought about this game, going back to this, specifically because of the art style and the kind of vibe it gives off. Like I said, it just looks like cooler Silent Hill. But yeah, I definitely will try going back to this at some point. I don't know if I will ever beat it, but this was definitely this was the first big box PC game I had. And I think it's really cool. And it's still in pretty decent condition as well. And so that makes me happy. So that is all my box PC stuff. Now, we're going to move on to the couple of jewel cases I have. I don't have too many of them, but I do have a couple that will be fun to talk about here. In no particular order, too, because I haven't really... it's harder to store these because not all of them have like end labels on their jewel cases that say what their games are. So I didn't always do that. Like, I didn't always put them alphabetically because, you know, I can't tell what some of them are. But yeah, here we got, first one, Riven, which I don't actually have a case for and just have the different DVD slips for them. So Riven, for people who don't know, this is the sequel to Myst. The other, I was talking about Uru, or however you pronounce that. That was like one of the sequels after Riven for Myst. Don't really know much about this game because I played Myst. I didn't play this. I got this from the friend that I said I got Mortal Kombat and Seaman from. Her boyfriend at the time was selling a bunch of his older stuff, and he sold this and a bunch of other older stuff, a bunch of other older games to me, and Riven was on that, and I was like, oh shit, he had fucking Riven of all games. You don't ever hear anyone talk about these games, but he had it. And I was like, shit, that's dope. So it's got the manual, it's got the discs, so I can always put this in, assuming it works, if I ever feel up to it. So yeah, Riven. Next we have, these kind of go side and side. So I have another copy of The Sims and The Sims Unleashed expansion pack. This is literally just The Sims, but in jewel case form, I think. Except this is like a deluxe version. So another way of playing Sims. Sims just is taking over my life. Please, somebody fucking help. Next, we have, this is a really cool story. I forgot that this was the next one up because I forgot where I put it. For people who don't know what this game is, this is called The Neverhood. This is a cool, really fucking charming game. I think everyone should definitely give this a look. So this is a funny story. So it's got like, so this is a game with like claymation art style. It's a point and click adventure game from 1996. And it's a really shame. It's a shame that this actually like did not sell well, because this was kind of where PC, this is when point and click games were starting to like kind of fall out a bit there. PC adventure games were just kind of not really as big as they were before. And because of that, and probably couple other things that I probably don't know about. This game didn't sell well. So it's really sad because the way I found this game, for people who don't know what this is, I highly doubt anyone really knows what this is other than people who randomly grew up with this game. I found this game by listening to a random video game playlist that someone made on YouTube of like weird video game music. And this came up because a song from this game, it was called Hamana Hamana. And it is fucking weird because it's just this guy singing hamana hamana burr burr, and he does that like the whole time, and then randomly like halfway through the song he'll start like laughing and start like manically like laughing like a fucking insane person, and that's in a song, and I was just like, what is this, The Neverhood? And the song just like left such an impact on me that I was just like, okay, I don't know what this is, and I looked it up on YouTube, looked up different like Let's Plays, and I was like, this looks cool as shit. I need this game. And so I got an actual like DVD copy of it. I think it was a decent bit of money, because this is hard to find, especially the big box version. I wish I had the actual case for this, or box, because it looks so cool. But it comes with like the manual and stuff, and like the disc looks really cool. And I played through this using Scum to kind of like emulate it and help it run better. And it was so much fun. It was so charming, and the world is really cool. Everything is made out of clay. It's got like clay stop motion animation in it as well. The music is great. Even just that song I was talking about, even so many other songs in there are great. I have so many of them downloaded just because of how like charming, weird, and wacky it is. The characters are great. There's a section in this game that has a hallway full of just story for this game's world that's literally fucking modeled after like the Bible and like the creation of man and all that. It's so cool, and I really, really enjoyed it. The only thing I will say about this game is that the puzzles in it can be really annoying. Like, some of them can be really hard to figure out what to do, and there are chances where you might have to look up what some of them are to kind of progress at all. But even with that, I still fucking adored this game. So that should tell you all you need to know. This was one of my favorite games that I beat last year. It was like definitely in my top 5, and I loved it so much. I loved the songs. I constantly listen to the soundtrack. But yeah, highly recommend people give this a look and play this. I am so happy that I randomly came across it, and I'm so sad that this didn't sell well, because I did play this game's. This game did have a sequel, but it wasn't a sequel in the same sense, because this is a point and click game, but the kind of like sequel they did was called Skull Monkeys, and it was a 2D platformer, side scroller, but it still had like some of the characters and like the claymation in it. So it was weird. It's a weird game. I don't really like Skull Monkeys definitely as much. It can be very annoying at times, but it's got the same like claymation art style, so I kind of have a little bit of a soft spot for it. But yeah, Neverhood, fucking fantastic, and I love it so much. Good time. Next, we have SpongeBob SquarePants Employee of the Month. For people who don't know this, this is an old PC SpongeBob point-and-click adventure game, kind of in the same way as like the Neverhood that I just talked about. And I'd randomly seen this a couple times and was like, I kind of need that because I love SpongeBob so much. I don't play a lot of SpongeBob games. I played a bit of Battle for Bikini Bottom, like the rehydrated version. But I love SpongeBob just so much. I've watched like that religiously. I've seen so many different quotes and everything from it. It was just my show growing up, along with a couple others. But I played a bit of the point and click. This did work kind of well, except it did have a bit of performance issues, even on the new PC. But it's a cool time seeing like the different art style and like the different weird fucking janky 3D character models in this. Some of the voice cast comes back, some of it isn't, some of it doesn't. Like, I think SpongeBob's voice actor's the same. I think Tom Kenny still voices in this. I forget. I don't really know. I could definitely beat this if I wanted to, just kind of sit through it because it's a point and click game. It's pretty simple in terms of like puzzles from what I've seen, but it didn't play very well, like performance-wise, when I played it, so I don't really know if I'd go back to this. But it was really cool to have this, and it comes in like a little sleeve, and a little jewel case inside, so that's really cool. Then we have, obviously, I have another like copy of Diablo 2, because why not? Great game. Everyone should play it, Evil has survived. All that bullshit. Next, we have... What is this? Oh, right. We have Doom. We have the original Doom, a CD-ROM version. This I kind of got in a bundle as well of stuff when I was yard sailing. And, is this the DOS version? It says CD-ROM. It's the Championship Edition. I don't know if this is DOS. Oh yeah, no, I think this is the DOS version. So I don't know if this would work on my PC. I think, but it's really cool to have a version of the original Doom because I love the original Doom. It is a fun shooter to play. Even now, it holds up really well. Other than like it could be kind of annoying to figure out where you're going. But Doom, id Software, John Carmack, John Romero, Adrian Carmack, Tom Hall, all those guys. They've made something special with this game, and it pretty much was like the grandfather of first-person shooters. So, Doom. You gotta say Doom, like in a deep voice. Alright, I'm not gonna worry about putting that back in. Next we have, I honestly forgot I had this, the original Myst. We've honestly come full circle with the amount of fucking Myst games I have. Myst, Riven, Oru. This is the one I played, of course, I talked about. I honestly forgot I had a CD copy of this. I think I might have gotten this in the same package as I did with Riven from my friend's boyfriend, maybe. I forget. Riven definitely came in that, but I don't... Maybe Myst did. I want to say it did. But yeah, definitely one I need to go back to. It's got like a weird like aesthetic to Myst that I really like about it, that it feels like uncanny because of like how the fog works in this game and the shadows that a lot of the pictures show. And from what I've seen, it has a really cool story. But a lot of the puzzles, I think, were just a bit too obtuse for me, so I didn't really play it for too long. But very cool aesthetic. One of the best on PC games before, I think, like Sims came out. So, yeah. And then I believe the last PC game I have, which is Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. I found this at a Goodwill for a couple bucks. It was the only PC game I recognized, and I was just like, that one, please. I've seen a bit of gameplay of this since then, and probably would give this a shot if I just wanted just a chill racing game on a keyboard and mouse. So yeah, maybe this will be the first Need for Speed game I actually get into. Who knows? So yeah, I think that's about it in terms of that stuff. So now, I want to talk about a really cool thing I have. So we've gone through all the PC stuff, and I want to talk about this, another part of my collection, which is the Supervision. Now, I had no clue what this was, never heard about it. I have it fully in box. I found this at an antique store as well, and I was just like, what is this? Because it kind of looked like the Game Boy. And I found out that this was like an old console, an old portable console that was like competing against the Game Boy at the time. But obviously, this did not sell well at all, and the Game Boy did. But the thing about this is that this is fully in box. Everything is inside of it from what I know of. But I can barely find any information about this online other than like wiki, and I've seen some photos and stuff. And like I don't know, like it goes for a decent bit of money too. Like maybe not like anything like crazy, but like a couple hundred, just from some sellers that I've seen. And it's like the most weirdest system. I've held it. I've like opened it up and held it, and it's got like a bunch of different like things like poker and blackjack and slots and just a bunch of different. The game cards look fucking weird as shit. And it's got like a kind of green screen, kind of like the Game Boy did. And I just wanted to talk about this one because it's not really under any specific like thing. Like I've never heard anyone bring this up until I looked it up when I saw it in the shelf, and it's in box too. And yeah, supervision. Like it's fucking weird. I don't know. It's the portable video game system with giant screen. So honestly, this was just a really cool find. This is one of the cooler things I have in terms of like what I think is probably rarer, because I barely see much information about this. But yeah, no, supervision, for when I don't feel like playing the Game Boy, I guess. Shit. So yeah, I believe that is everything here in terms of what I have. All my PC stuff at least, and yeah. It was honestly really dope, like, looking at all my PC stuff. Obviously, I haven't played everything, but I do hope to get to a decent bit of stuff here. And next time, for part 3, we're going to take a look at all of my Xbox stuff. OG Xbox and Xbox 360. So, yeah. See ya.